This was Josh Gatt 2 years ago, starring for Detroit Catholic Central, an All-American with a bright future. And when we interviewed Josh, he let his dream be known.
The dream for me, and I've been telling my parents this since I was a kid, is that I was going to go play soccer over in Europe and play in a World Cup.
Little did we know, those plans were already in the works. This is Josh Gatt today, starring for Norway's First Division Molde Football Club. Just 20 years old, Gatt is one of the fastest rising American soccer stars in the world.
Mot Mathisen, drar seg til høyre, og så 2-1 til Molde. For en prestasjon av Josh.
How did it happen? It was this trip Josh made the summer before his senior year with the U.S. Super Elite team, taking on some of the best European up-and-comers in a few friendlies.
I was there 2 weeks, and I had to stay an extra week for some trials with some teams, and by the time I left and came home, I already knew that I was going to be a professional soccer player in Europe. They already offered me a contract, I never talked about it.
But what about college? Does he get an education or go with his gut?
A lot of friends and their families were a little skeptical because that's weird. That's weird for someone just to skip college and not go to college and get an education. But my family understood that this was my dream, and they were, from the moment I told them that I was going to do this, they were nothing but supportive.
Signed by the second division Austrian club Alltag, following graduation, Josh packed his bags. The only American, his soccer education began.
For a good month, 2 months, I was getting beat up every day in training, getting yelled at, getting screamed at. There's times where I wanted to, obviously I wanted to quit and go home and do that, or wanted to transfer and leave the team, but I stuck it out, and I'm happy I did, because those are all the essentials I needed to learn if I wanted to be able to compete in the sport.
Wasn't long before Josh adapted with Alltag. He even had 4 goals in 4 straight games. Last January, Josh moved on to Norway. A few months in, Gatt was getting it done, and Molde won their first league championship in its 100-year history, with a shot at competing in the European Champions League. Doesn't get any bigger, and it's the closest thing you can get to being a rock star.
For them, we're heroes, and it's pretty cool because, I just came here for a year, so I don't even think I've earned being a hero to them, but just because, I played some games and we brought home the gold, they consider all of us just heroes.
As far as Gatt's future with the U.S. national team, it looks promising. Competing for the States, as he did here late last year with the under-20s against Canada, Josh again was a standout. Next summer are the Olympics in London. Gatt just might garner an invite. From high school to hero, and living the dream. Represent, Josh.